Hello all and welcome to our daily news show, The Big Story, where we talk about the hottest topics of today right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Kimberly Jiao coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook, so do leave us a comment, like and share it with your friends, as well as hit that bell to be told whenever we go live. I'll be joined by a couple of my newsroom colleagues to discuss what got you talking today. Our first story: scammers are using articles and ads carrying false endorsements, to fool the public. Between September and November 2018, the police received several reports of scams originating from misleading online articles that promoted investments in Bitcoin. With us to discuss this is journalist Haris and tech editor Irene. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So some of you may have seen these floating around, but just in case you haven't, what's really going on here?
Okay, so what we are seeing here is really essentially fake news in action. So these fake sites masquerade or pretend to be real news sites from SPH and make their rounds on social media. People will see it, they share it, and that's how it goes viral and it spreads. So these sites use familiar visual elements like your fonts, your mastheads, certain visual cues or certain parts of the website to trick people into thinking that they're real.
Well, scammers obviously faking the product endorsements by ST journalists, hoping that unsuspecting victims will click on the links and take action. And ST after all is a reputable news organization, and our endorsement counts. So
what happens when these users do click on these links?
So several things can happen. I think one of the worst things that can happen if someone does click on these links is that it's a gateway where malicious software lurk. So by clicking on these links on these sites, right, you could be essentially opening the doors of your systems to spyware, letting hackers into your systems, and I think even more scarily perhaps letting them into the systems of your family or even your workplace. So if you look at SingHealth, which is Singapore's worst cyber attack that resulted in the stealing of the data of 1.5 million people, that was what happened. I mean, granted it was a phishing link, so maybe it was a bit different, but it was similar in that someone clicked on the link, it led bad actors and hackers into the system, and then it was through that entry point that they could move around in the network.
What Haris just described is known as drive-by download in tech speak. So it means that users go to dubious websites, pick up a lot of unwanted things, malware and so on, and then all these things are loaded in their system, and it continues to spy on them and their keystrokes and so on. And it's a very common mode of system infection, and it's all part of this whole thing called social engineering. And hackers use social engineering to get unsuspecting victims to give up their passwords and their sensitive information as well. And visiting website is just the first step. So.
And also by using these endorsements from like ST reporters, like what Irene mentioned, and even politicians, like in the articles that our stories talked about, they're using it to fool netizens. So those who click on these advertisements could be directed to scam websites that offer cryptocurrency investments or offers, from maybe travel providers or restaurants. So I think President Halimah herself recently wrote on Facebook that a fraudulent website claimed that she was launching a new initiative adopting blockchain technology and a new Bitcoin trading system platform. So I mean, this site, from what I saw, it encouraged the public to make deposits via credit card or bank transfer. So people who sign up for these scams give up their data, and they also give up their hard-earned money. So it is quite a source of concern, I think.
Right, and I think that for that one, it seems a bit more obvious President Halimah wouldn't do that. But for the rest, that maybe on the fence, doesn't seem very clear. What are some telltale signs that a site is fake?
Using the ST example, for instance, ST journalists, we do not endorse products. And if we do provide our opinions, they're clearly marked as such as they'll be marked as reviews or opinions, and never in a news article or in an objective way. We're supposed to be objective in news stories. Another thing the public can do is to check the URL. For instance, the fake sites, they clearly do not carry the straitstimes.com URL. That is one big giveaway already. And what it can do is, if the URL looks suspiciously close to the original site, what you can do is maybe just copy and paste the headline, search for it on Google, and see if it appears in the original source. So if it is there, then it's authentic. If it is not, then it's another giveaway.
Yeah, and I mean, jumping off from what Irene also just mentioned, the elements of the site can be a sort of a giveaway too. So things like maybe the layout, the grammar that's used, the font that's used. I mean, granted, in the examples that were shared in the article that we published, some of these sites that we reported about did do their homework, I guess, in a sense. They did try to mimic some elements of ST, but from what I understand, not every bad actor or hacker is as hardworking. So I think looking out for giveaways like that would be very useful in trying to discern what's real and what's not lah.
I see.
Yeah.
So what else can users do to sort of prevent themselves from getting scammed?
I think like what Irene mentioned, checking sources really go a long way. Simple thing like using Google to find out, is this really true? Often I think if something is too good to be true, then it really is. Or if it's too weird to be true, it probably is too. So it really is up to you, I guess, as the consumer or the consumer of the news to double check your sources and to find out what's real and what's not. Yeah.
Ask your friends, ask your parents, ask your children, ask experts. Check first. Yeah, I think it's
see.
never. Well, it's always good to be cautious and to be skeptical of what you read online, knowing that anything, a dog can be a real person online, right? So.
Yeah.
I see. So always double check, and you will never be too cautious,
Yep.
we would say. Thanks for sharing more with us. If you'd like to read the full story, do head on to our website. That's www.straitstimes.com, not www.thestraitstimes.com. It's www.straitstimes.com.